How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store has kicked off a brand new sale in the July savings sale after the mid-year sale has ran up, and that sale will be ending tonight, actually. But July savings is bringing with it north of 3,000 deals. Got it filtered by full games, game bundles, and premium editions, and still got over 2,400 deals here that we're going to go over in this video. As always, we'll go over as much as we can, but we'll do our typical videos of deals under 5, 10, etc., etc. So we'll get to that when we do. But let's go over the main deals. MLB The Show 25 is 43% off for $39.89. WWE 2K25 is $42. Phasmophobia 25% off for $15. Like to see that. Persona 3 Reload is at its historic low price point of $31.49, which definitely is a good deal. If you're looking to get into the Persona franchise, I would not recommend P3R. I would say just go with Persona 5. Persona 3 Reload is a really good remake. However, Persona 3 just fundamentally has a lot of dated aspects to it that they do a good job of, you know, remaking it and making it more accessible. But I just gotta say, the whole Tartarus I thought was pretty mediocre going back into it in 2024, but it's still a great game, amazing soundtrack, great cast of characters, good story, and for $31.49, I would strongly recommend it. It's just, if you're a first-time trier of the series, I would say go with Persona 5, but that's just my 2 cents. A lot of people think Persona 3 is the best Persona out of all of them, so take it for what it's worth. UFC 5 is $28, A Way Out is $8.99, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint is $12, Naruto X Boruto is $30 still, which I just think is insanity. Kingdom Hearts All-in-One package is $39.99. We gotta finally get that back down to $29.99. But at the very least, can we get the Remind DLC included in the All-in-One package? I think that would be quite nice, but it is what it is. Kingdom Hearts 3 standalone is $24. Jurassic World Evolution 2 is $15. MX vs. ATV Legends is $12. And Black Ops 3, $40 for the Zombie Chronicles edition. Kind of insane to see Black Ops 3 still at that price. When Black Ops 7 is literally coming out this year. That's actually insane to think about, that Black Ops 3, that edition is still going for $40. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection is 60% off for $19.99. Shadow of War is $4.99. You got Far Cry Anthology, $37.49. A lot of Ubisoft stuff on sale. Watch Dogs 1 and 2. Gold Edition, $13.49 on that. Watch Dogs 2 Standalone is $7.49. Star Wars Battlefront 2 Celebrations Edition, $7.99 on that. I would like to see it down to what the price point on Steam is. Steam has it for $3.99, but Battlefront 2 been getting a lot of steam. You know, it's cool to see. I don't think Battlefront 3 will come out anytime in the near future. I'm pretty confident in saying that, but I feel like they should do something with Battlefront 2 given the steam that the game has. I don't know, these days, who knows how long that'll be sustainable for, but $7.99 for that is pretty decent. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is $8.99. A lot of talk about this remake. Edward Kenway's voice actor, you know, talking about it as well. It looks like that remake is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this stage of the game, but that remake is probably going to come out in 2026, so you know, it's still a ways away, and the original is still great. I mean, AC4 is one of those games that visually it doesn't really need a remake in my opinion, but hey, I'm gonna play the hell out of it again. It's one of my favorite games of all time, so obviously I'm gonna be all over that. Rise of the Ronin Digital Deluxe is $52.79. Do not be paying that for Ronin. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Deluxe is $15.99. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Standard Edition, 60% off for $24. Talked about it earlier today, but that game has hit a major sales milestone, cracking 2 million copies sold. I really enjoyed the game last year. I just kind of wish there were more updates and content updates and reason to go back, but the game's a solid action RPG. I certainly would recommend it at that price point for sure, so definitely, if you're into JRPGs, check that one out. Sonic Superstars, $24, a little bit too pricey for my liking, but, you know, a fun Sonic game. Assassin's Creed Antiquity Pack, that's AC Origins and Odyssey for $19.99. Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold Edition is what I would really recommend. That includes AC3 Remastered as well. Odyssey generally received as the best of the newer style of Assassin's Creed games. You got a lot of DLC with that as well. Definitely a good pickup at $19.99. Banger deal here, Unicorn Overlord, 60% off for $24. That is a historic low price for Unicorn Overlord. I've talked up that game a lot. I've talked up Vanillaware in general. They're one of the best studios in all of gaming. I know, you know, their games are never going to be the most popular games in the world, but I thought Unicorn Overlord was an outstanding game from a narrative standpoint. The soundtrack was great, the visual style obviously excellent, and you know, if you're into tactics RPGs, that's going to be a worthwhile one. So definitely for $24, a great pickup there. Highly, highly recommend that one. Devil May Cry 5 and Virgil is $7.49. Batman Return to Arkham, $4.99 on that. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, $19.94 for the Ultimate Edition. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, $29.99. Good discount on that for sure. Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age for $19.99. I love Final Fantasy 12. Legitimately one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. The only thing I was down on was the main character, but the rest of the cast was pretty strong, and a lot of content in that game as well, so definitely worthwhile to check that out. South Park The Video Game Collection, 80% off for $11.99 on that. Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole, great deal there for two excellent RPGs. Stick of Truth especially, I had a fantastic time with. Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition, $17.99. Good deal there if you're into those classic RPGs. Steep is $5.99 and Steep X Games Gold Edition is $9.99. A lot of the Ubisoft games, you guys, I think are great podcast games, and I played Steep for a while as one of those games I would just mess around with while listening to a podcast, and I had a fun time with it. Is it a blowaway game? No, mechanically, it does have some issues, but, you know, as far as just doing crazy tricks and whatnot, I had fun with it, and for that price point, I think it's a pretty decent pickup, so I would recommend it at that price. Tales of Arise, $19.99. Would like to see that at $9.99, much like the price on Steam, so yeah, $19.99 is still a decent deal for that, but I would say wait for it to get a little bit cheaper at this point. Maybe wait for like the Beyond the Dawn edition to be really cheap. Right now that's available for $39.99, but that's not cheap enough in my opinion. So $19.99 for Arise. I like the game, but yeah, probably would wait for a deeper discount. Bayonetta is $6.24. Freedom Wars Remastered, $29.99 on that. Again, that's another one where Steam's got that for $20, and if it was at $20, I'd probably recommend it. $30 I just think is a little pricey. You know, the Vita heads like me picked that game up at launch and had a great time with that at launch. At this point, if you're picking it up, you probably don't have that nostalgic attachment to it, so it kind of is what it is. But yeah, definitely down the line when it's cheaper, pick it up. Then Lost Judgment, $11.99 on that. The Digital Ultimate Edition is $17.99, which is an excellent deal. You get the Kaito Files expansion as well. I'd love to see a Judgment 3, but I just don't know if that's ever going to happen with RGG working on Stranger Than Heaven, the next Yakuza, Kiwami 3, Virtua Fighter. Their plate is pretty full right now, so that's probably never going to happen, but Lost Judgment was great. I had a great time with that. Definitely would recommend you to play Judgment first, though, so keep that in mind. Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy, like the PS4 edition bundle, is $11.99. What else we got? Returnal, $29.39. Look, Housemarque is tremendous, and that game was fantastic, albeit a bit challenging, to say the least, and definitely can push some people to break a controller, but very rewarding game. Incredible atmosphere. Visuals are tremendous, and yeah, I'm sure Housemarque is going to knock it out of the park with Saros as well. Crysis Remastered Trilogy, $12.49 on that is fantastic. That is a great deal for Crysis 1, 2, and 3. I loved Crysis 2 in particular. I think that game is outstanding. Crysis 1 is really good as well. And Crysis 3, it's a fine game. I definitely wasn't blown away by it like I was with Crysis 2, but still a solid game, all things considered. Batman Arkham Knight Premium is $5.19. For some reason, the Naruto Storm games have had their prices all juiced up, and Storm 4 Road to Boruto is $25. That used to go on sale for like $10, so that's a bummer, but what can you do? The Oregon Trail is $14.99, so yeah, you can check that out. Callisto Protocol Digital Deluxe for $13.49. I mean, that's not the worst deal in the world. That's a PS5 edition. Not the worst deal in the world. Borderlands Game of the Year is $9.89. You want to get the Legendary Edition, which goes on sale for $9.99, which includes Handsome Collection and the Game of the Year Edition for $9.99, but yeah, I mean, if you already have the Handsome Collection and you want to play through Borderlands, what? I guess you'll save 10 cents by buying just the Game of the Year edition. Judgment on PS5 is $9.99. Again, highly recommended. Honestly, Judgment's a great game if you want to get into the RGG games, the Yakuza developers' games, because you're only talking about a 2-game series with Judgment and Lost Judgment, so it's not the daunting undertaking that Yakuza is, and Judgment tells an incredible self-contained story. Just start to finish, that game's story will take you on an absolute roller coaster ride. It is fantastic. I love Yagami as a character, even if he's number 3 behind Kiryu and Ichiban for me as far as best main characters from RGG. Yagami is still an awesome character, and for $9.99, that deal is great. Definitely recommend that. Awesome theme song to that game as well, and soundtrack in general. So $9.99 for that is great. Wolfenstein Alternate History Collection, $11.99 on that is great. Definitely would recommend that. Great pickup there. Burnout Paradise Remastered is $4.99. Great deal there. That's another one of those games. Awesome soundtrack and just a fun game to relax and play. I think Burnout Paradise is a great time. Some crazy crashes as well, so $5 for that is great. What else we got? Persona Collection with P3 Portable, P4 Golden, and P5 Royal is $36. I don't know how many people want to pick that up with P3 having a remake and then P4 getting a remake, but nonetheless, you can check it out for $36. Castlevania Requiem Symphony of the Night, $4.99 on that. Trails Through Daybreak Legend of Heroes is 20% off for $48. Love the game, one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, and the Legend of Heroes games just hold up in price in perpetuity. I would say it's still very much worth a pickup, so, you know, there you go with that. And that's a good game to start off with Legend of Heroes. I mean, the best one is gonna be the Trails in the Sky remake that comes out in September, but, you know, Daybreak's not a bad one. Given that it kicks off with a new cast of characters, and, you know, it's got all of the modernization and UI improvements that the later Cold Steel games had as well, and really updates it even more beyond that. So great deal there. Given that the quality level, I mean, it's only 20% off, but Trails Through Daybreak is goated as far as JRPGs go. Descenders, $7.49. That's an awesome game as well if you just want to relax and play a game while listening to a podcast. Mountain biking game, you do wild tricks, and enjoyable time for sure. I have like 30 hours in that game, and I really had a great time with it. And still, we'll go back to it every now and again when I want to chill and play a game. Wolfenstein, the 2-pack, it's Wolfenstein New Order and Old Blood. That does not include New Colossus, keep that in mind, but $7.49 on that. What else we got? Hunting Sim is $9.99. Mass Effect Andromeda is $5.99. Look, I think if you go back and play that game with tempered expectations, it's not the worst game in the world, but definitely a far cry from what Mass Effect 1 through 3 were. Chrono Cross The Radical Dreamers is $7.99. Soul Hackers 2 is $15, which that's a game that I go to bat for all the time. I think it's pretty decent. Watch Dogs $4.99 on that. Wanted Dead is $7.49. Dredge Digital Deluxe $13.49 on that. Unravel is $4.99. Yakuza Kiwami, $11 on that. The older Yakuza games have all gotten their price juiced up as well. Persona 5 Strikers is $18. I think that game is a sleeper. Persona Dancing Endless Night Collection for $8.24. That also includes Persona 4 Dancing in Moonlight, I believe it's called, or Dancing All Night, whatever it's called. Yeah, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, and then Persona 4 Dancing All Night, I believe, are the names. So, yeah, $8.24 on that is really good. Spiritfarer Farewell Edition, $4.49 on that. That game is really well received. Pretty interesting game from a thematic standpoint, and $4.50 for that. Just Cause 4 Gold Edition for $9. Catherine Full Body for $8 is great. Dungeons of Hinterberg, that just came out on PlayStation, $13.79 on that, so steep discount given it's a relatively recent release. So a lot of great deals across the board. See Prey Digital Deluxe Edition, that's always a great deal as well. We'll break down the sale in its entirety. A lot of the stuff you typically see, but the summer sale is going to be coming up here in just a couple of weeks. I believe after this sale, the summer sale should be starting, so yeah, be on the lookout for that as well. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.